So in this video, I'll try to capture a little bit of the light and dark of the matter of movementless yoga, healthy natural breathing. Because there is, well, it is her yoga. Yeah, there's a light and dark, visible, invisible, known, unknown. So the light offers a natural setup for the talk. Yeah. Now, our feet. I was speaking in the previous video about the Dasha Vayus. Yeah. 10 kinds of vayus. And I was saying we'll begin the practice to inquire into the matter of the vayus from the feet. Yeah. And so just like the idea of Hatha Yoga, yeah, there is the visible aspect of it and the invisible aspect of it. So you consider this to be feet. Now I could show my feet. That's going to be a very odd. I don't have camera positioning enough to tell the matter. But this is good enough. Yeah. Because for animals, this would have been their feet too. Yeah. And then over time, we stand on our feet and then use this for other purposes. Yeah. So this is kind of like the limbs differently used. Yeah. Differently abled limbs, humans. Yeah. For humans. So we have toes. Yeah. Toes and the heel and the Achilles. Yeah. Like for an animal. Yeah. On the ground, this would be the Achilles. Our feet, this would be the Achilles. Yeah. So the heels, and then the knees, and the thighs, and the hips. Yeah. So if we were four-legged creatures, this would be the hips also. Yeah. We wouldn't call this say, for example, the shoulders of a cow. We would still call the whole system as a four limbs. So consider this to be the hips. Yeah. Like from standing. I might as well just focus the camera. But I'm still working on a little bit of the camera, video setup, and all of that. So meanwhile, you'll have to use your imagination. Yeah, we do use our imagination for many things, visualization and listening to different kinds of audio, even binaural sounds and all of that. So we can engage our imagination a little differently. Yeah, about the feet. The bottom of the feet touches the ground, and the more we are able to make contact with our feet on the ground, there is a certain piezoelectric effect from the contact with earth that benefits our body. Yeah. Which is not quite so available when you're lying down. So you put your feet up and then you lie down and then when you're going to sleep, for example. Yeah. Not quite the same way. Unless along with that, we have, say, three positions: lying down position, yeah, lying down position, sitting up position, and then standing up position, when our feet would be touching the ground. Yeah. Now, our body is made up of voluntary muscles and involuntary muscles. I'm able to move my hand because our body has muscles that allows me to move my hand. It's called voluntary muscles. There are muscles that move my heart. I don't have control over those muscles. Yeah, they're called cardiac muscles. Some part of it is there's an internal stimulation for how the heart functions. Yeah, but I don't have a voluntary control over my heart. Similarly, my intestines or my pancreas or my liver, they also function by voluntary and involuntary muscles, but in a combination which is fine and required for the internal work of the body. Yeah, if I'm going to be meddling in every little aspect of my body, then, that would be, a cog in the wheel. Our regulatory processes may have more of an intrusion and a problem that may not be as good for, maintaining the natural physiological processes of the body. Which is why over time, breathing, for example, has become so automatic. Like when we are a kid, we may have to learn to walk because we need to learn to find the proprioception and balance. And it takes something to go from a crawly baby, crawling to slowly standing up and then walk on 2 feet. Yeah, that takes some work. You need to get a balance, an ability to manage the voluntary muscles in such a way that you can actually walk. Yeah. Now, now that we can walk, we don't have to think so much about, okay, please, place a foot in the ground, take the other one, keep from the heel down, and then lift this up. If you have to remember so much, you might have a memory concern or a neurodegenerative, you may be going a little slow, yeah? Which means over time, some aspects of our physiology of how we function has gotten automatic. But that doesn't mean that we can't slow down and pay attention to those processes. Like, for example, how you're walking, we can just waddle, yeah? And then you pay attention to the finer aspects of it and you learn elegance, yeah? That is possible because that takes a little bit of observation, learning, unlearning, relearning, yeah? So there are 3 aspects. There is unlearning, learning, and relearning. But it also takes observation, paying attention to what better to improve, what not just somehow anyhow just doing things. Our bodily functions are similar. Yeah. So for example, over time, say people discovered that having too much of sugar has an effect on your metabolic processes. And now there is much work happening about how to eat, when to eat, in what order, when to start eating, when to stop eating. So all of these thought lines come from, oh, something's not working as well. Observe, now what is the problem? Pay attention to it. And then solutions emerge. Yeah. The how-to for solving a problem that hitherto could not be seen. And now, when we're paying attention to that, solutions begin to start being seen the way we could not earlier. Similarly, feet touches the ground while we are walking. Yeah. Now let's take that position because we could contemplate on the matter lying down with the feet up. Yeah. With our ankle, just feet up. That also has its benefit. Now, why does it have a benefit? There is a bone. I spoke about it as a ball bearing, yeah, where our leg makes contact with the feet, and there is this joint of our feet that can do this, yeah, can do this. And there's a fascia, the Achilles heel. There are several processes here, which then allow for us to be able to stand and then do a dance, disco dance. Nice. There's a bone there. Similarly, our feet function by as many processes that maintains our body a fine engineering. It's not just engineering, I call it biology. Yeah, people are still studying the human body and figuring out what it takes to maintain being healthy such that we don't get diseases. So it's quite a miracle, quite a design, an amazing constitution. What does it take to maintain being healthy? Buddha's feet, yeah. I'm saying 10 vayus, but at least let's begin with 10 points of contact. 5 tips of the toes, 3 points of contact just below the toes, yeah, extremes there. The center and the heel. So 5, 6, 7, 8, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10, or 9 and 10, yeah. Then maintains the center of gravity. So we have 10 points. And along these lines, these 10 points, we will study 10 vayus. Yeah. It takes something to get what I'm saying, and we'll be appreciating only the feet. We still have the liver, the heart, the intestines, the pancreas, the brain. We have heart. We got lots of organs. So let's begin somewhere. Yeah, let's begin at the feet. The more stable we get, more when we're going for walks, we're likely to appreciate the feet. Yeah. So lying down, sitting, walking, paying attention to feet gives us greater stability because this forms the Mooladhara. Human beings have an evolutionary advantage because we can stand on our feet and function with the whole vertebral stack stacked up on top of each other, head right on top, eyes facing forward. That's taken a lot of work. So from our evolutionary advantage, let's get better. I invite you to bring your attention to the tips of your toes. Tips of your toes. And notice the length of your feet from the toe tips, bottom of your feet, all the way to your heels. Okay? This is a little sensorily confusing probably when I'm showing my hands. So I will not show this, except when to give an anatomical perspective. So I invite you to bring your attention to the tips of your toes. Great toe, second toe, third toe, fourth toe, fifth toe, toe. Yeah, okay, 5. And pay attention to the sides of your feet, 1 foot at a time, so you can thoroughly appreciate each foot, the sides of your foot, each foot, sides of your feet. And I say feet because paying attention to both feet, feet, is important for balance. Why? Because when I place my foot together, the great toe is on in this inside. So it's not like, like this. It's not, two have the great toe like this. It's not on one side. The great toe is inside for one foot. And for the other foot, it is also inside. So it's not symmetrical. Yeah. It is opposite. The great toe is here and the little toe is outside. And so our body is very interestingly made, which means we have complementary opposites. They function together in such a way that the core of the matter may be inside, and that doesn't mean this is not the core. So it's so which is the core becomes a little thing for you to think about. Because if you sometimes our balance is off because our little finger is not holding on to the matter well enough. Yeah. And so strengthening the little toe becomes important. At other times, it's from not having sufficient balance on the great toe that there's a problem. And just that won't do. The tips of the toes, sometimes you got to dig into the ground to be able to balance your weight. So you're not just doing that. When you're doing, say you're tipping a little forward like this, it's your toes at the toe tips that then balances the weight so you can stand up. Okay? Then notice your heels. Pay attention to your heel and notice, okay, pay attention to warmth. Sides of your feet, back, all the way around to your great toe, little toe to great toe, the entire sides of your feet. Okay? And then notice warmth at the tips of your toes. This is so you can get a little more comfortable with the tissue that makes your body. Yeah. Warm, our body is nourished by warm blood. Paying attention to softness at your toe tips, sides, and also the inside, the bottom part of your feet, has a certain detoxification effect. It helps your body detoxify from the warmth in your feet. Now, the piezoelectric effect of it, the biology of it, we will come to it slowly as we learn the 10 vayus. Now, when I say vayus, they're metabolic processes, but they're also breaths. In the sense, there are several dynamics, just like our breath. When we breathe, there's inhalation, exhalation. There are several phases to it. Similarly, there are several processes to this. So while we are examining those fine details, it would also seem a little, so this is like a little bit like the Dasha Mahavidya, yeah? But there are so many basics to it, yeah? So the detoxification bit will be understood as we get a little more familiar with appreciating our body from a humane perspective. As we learn to be gentle, kind, and mindful with our body, it becomes easier for us to appreciate our body and metabolism and the physiological processes that makes our body a human body. And what makes just having a body that's human a yoga in and of itself. It's taken a lot of evolutionary processes to form a human body. And for us to qualify enough to have a body that's human. Yeah. And when such is the case, what does it take for us to appreciate the first house you're born into, you're born with? The more we are taking care of this first house, life, a body as the first muladhara. The more we take care of our own body, the life we live also gets taken care of. Because we care enough to take care of us and that which makes our life a matter of substance. Over many lifetimes, years, we have a life worth speaking about, that we're proud of in our own ways. What does it take to improve the substance of ourselves, our lives, what we would be able to make available from these so many years of evolution that's given rise to the life we have, the body we have, and no matter how it is right now, to improve it. Yeah. So let's begin by a warm up to appreciating our feet. Warmth, softness of the tissues of our feet. Tips of our toes, between our toes, the length of our toes, yeah? Above the top surface of our feet, bottom surface of our feet. Like really love your feet, but not like, touch. You don't have to touch. All you're doing is, even with your eyes closed, just try moving your toes and paying attention to your feet in terms of warmth, in terms of softness, and to be able to feel the different parts of each of your foot. Now remember, the great toe is facing inwards, both foot. It's not out. It's not like, one on one side and the other on this, it's not. There's a difference in how one foot is different from the other. And yet they have 5 toes, they have a heel, they have a center, there are 3 points, all of it's there. It's just a little mirror image. So I invite you to not move one foot and move only the other. Yeah. So you can appreciate one foot and then not move that foot and move the other, to notice what is different about one foot versus the other. And then, of course, you can then move them together, because then your appreciation of the foot, of the feet, will be much humaner, profounder. You're probably going to go, oh my God, where was my feet all my life? Yeah. That's happened quite often. Yeah. So I'm just introducing you to, oh my God, what in the world are we born with? Yeah. So on that note, I leave you with a little bit of material for contemplation. It's going to take some lifetimes, yeah, before you get a hang of feet. Yeah. But I'm just informing you that beginning is where a journey of 1,000 steps, 10,000 steps, gazillion million steps, yeah, lies. First step is beginning to appreciate what you have. Thank you so much for listening. Good day.